Yeah, her little big ass lips.
Motherfucker, I don't have no big ass lips. I got white people lips. God damn it, I'm tired of y'all trying to boost
I ain't
me
know what
up.
you talking about. What I
I'm
saw.
tired of y'all trying to boost me up like I don't
Ain't
have
no
fucking
big. I
white
know
people
white.
lips.
You don't have white people lips. I don't
I
get
do
it,
have fucking white people
ma'am.
lips.
Do you want to be
I don't
white or
have
do you
no
want to be
lips.
black? What are you doing, ma'am?
I
Your
am
lips are
black.
your lips are full.
My lips are. I wish they were full. You must ain't look at my. Go look at my Facebook picture. Them shit is
I
thin.
did. I did.
I don't have no top lip.
You have a top lip.
I don't have a top lip.
I don't know what you're talking about because you have a top lip.
I don't have a top lip. Hey,
Putting this shit
I
up for
don't have no
stream.
fucking top lip, sir.
Y'all guys are funny.
Yes, you got a top lip.
I'm playing with my lip right now, and I don't have a top lip.
You have a top lip.
What are you
Oh
talking
wow.
about? It sounds so stupid. Like what?
I sound so clear on that bitch. Like I like this.
You
Like
you really do. You really do. You got a top lip.
See that?
That's all you hear too. Is like you got a top lip. All right, guys, how you doing? Welcome to another beautiful episode of Blerd Talk. We are in here to talk about some real shit. It's an echo.
Oh.
Stop it, guys.
BB ass with no headphones.
Man, listen. I got these little headphones in the computer. It should not be an echo. Wait, let me see
Do you
something.
have do you have the computer's volume turned up?
No, it's
Are
on
you sure?
32. Let me mute it. What happens if I mute it? Can
Turn that
y'all hear
bitch to
me?
0. I can hear you. Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear
I
me?
muted it, but I can't hear y'all. Eh.
Oh, fuck this shit. All right, take the mute off. God damn it.
Can y'all hear me now? I can hear y'all a
We
little
can hear
bit.
you.
Yes, A&T. What was
Y'all
it?
might just
It's
have to speak up.
Verizon Wireless. Can you hear me now?
Is there still an
Wait,
echo?
I wait. I don't hear no echo.
What about
We
now? Is
good.
there echo?
No,
No,
there's
there's
no
an
echo.
echo.
We good. You just have to turn it down a bit. All right. So today's episode is going to be on some real shit. Gerell wants to talk a little bit about like what's going on in the world, the political situation, and like real shit. This is Blerd Talk. Blerd Talk is almost about anything, not always about animes and movies. We'll get to the anime and movie parts, but we're going to hit Gerell up on his topic today. I'm kind of interested in what he got to say.
Fuck
Gerell,
Gerell,
you
what
want
he
to
got
start
to
us,
say.
brother?
Fuck what he got
God
to say.
damn.
Jesus.
For real? That's how you feel?
That's how you feel, my nigga. That's how you feel.
Fuck Gerell and whatever bullshit he wrote in on.
I guess. All right, Gerell. So last time we was talking, man, you said we was talking about like people who hold political office, and we said that we feel that if you hold a political office, you should at least be in the military for at least 8 years, a minimum of 8 years.
Right, right, right. I just want to say first before I start my argument. Fuck that thought pocket over there in this corner. Uh, I just want to say I believe that they should have some sort of military background with them because you know what kind of
Bullshit.
the weight, and the bullshit that comes with
No,
being in the
this is
military and
bullshit.
following or shut your ass.
It's not the idea of following order. It's
Like
also like being able to handle stress
handle stress.
and like and bullshit. Like you like I'm sorry, and as much as I sit in the middle of a lot of things, I feel a lot of people are just like bleeding heart on certain issues, and it's like no, we shouldn't. You shouldn't try to be so nice to everybody. Like I feel like we do that too much. We try to be nice to motherfuckers who make it very obviously they want to kill us. Like,
Yep. Like
and then again,
I want to make it like you have to question if you really want to send. Is there necessarily need to be a war or anything? Do we necessarily need to go over there and make these moves in other countries? Like if you know the weight of your decision and what comes with that and what lives come with that, then you will be less, likely to push that war button. You know what I'm saying? Because we ain't got to go to
oh,
fucking war for every
facts.
fucking thing.
I mean, well, one of the things me and my wife talks about is the nuclear bomb and on both Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And I don't know if you actually like read Truman's biology and shit. I believe it's Truman, if I can remember correctly. I think it is. But he regretted that shit heavily. Like, but the thing about it though was he was stuck between a rock and a hard place because it was either we let more people die or we've put it into this now. And either way you look at it, the decision was going to cost more lives. Either he drops the bomb or we lose millions more in the actual ground battle that's going to take to get to Tokyo. And decisions like that should come with military experience because sometimes that's what it is. You got to make the hard decisions. I believe a lot of these people, and sadly, quite frankly, people may get mad at me. I believe a lot of politicians are spoiled Americans who with just very spoiled point of views that have never really seen outside of the country or really seen other countries in the predicaments they at to see how some of these policies they think are going to work actually work.
Right.
Like, realistically speaking, the left and the right will always have their extreme versions. If you honestly think your side doesn't have an extremity to it, you're in a fantasy world.
Facts.
I disagree with that bullshit full-heartedly.
Why?
Simply because I don't have to be in the military. I don't have to be in law enforcement in order to hold a presidential office. I can have a chief of security or whoever who was in that. Because personally, I wanted to go into the military, but I have health reasons that prevented me from going into the military. So if they take those health reasons away, then okay, cool. Then I can agree with that. But there are things that prevent you from getting into the military that allow you to get into law enforcement. Same thing with people who can't get into either because of their health reasons might be a little bit more severe. I got by. If I was to go to Texas or if I was to go somewhere else and apply, those health reasons would not allow me to do law enforcement there. Because I would still have to go through an academy all over again because now I'm in a different state. There are health reasons that preventing me from going completely federal.
I mean, I hear you on top of that. I mean, like, and you have, and I mean, we know you have legit health reasons. I'm like bone spurs, but like, the thing about it though is like certain stuff like that but you still went into law enforcement. That's what I'm trying to say, BB. Is you still went into a position of a job that causes you to learn how to be around people, learn discipline, learn stress. A lot of people put themselves like I'm sorry, like our politicians today, all of them. I look at them as like spoiled elites who have no idea what people in this country really go through. And even like I know some people, and even though I know some people, like for example, and people gonna get mad at me because I'm about to come at her. One of them I would give example is AOC. People may like AOC, but I liked AOC at first too. But I noticed certain things for her started changing. Like when AOC first came on, she talked a lot about term limits, and I was for that. When was the last time you heard her talk about it?
This is the last time she talked about it.
Being a smart ass. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, one of the things is absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyone with power for too long is eventually going to want to keep that power. The thing about it though is I liked her for that fact. I was like, yeah, we need term limits. Fucking Congress definitely needs term limits. So. But the thing about it though is, they don't want to give it up. They get a taste of that power, they get a taste of that abilities, and they want to keep it. And that's the dangerous parts about it.
See, the problem with that overall is it doesn't matter what your background. If you're the type of person who is morally corrupt, you're going to get into a position of power and show your fucking ass because you got power.
You're right. But I'm not saying the military is perfect. I'm not saying law enforcement is perfect. But do we not have programs meant to prevent that and try to weed that shit out? What programs do you see in everyday life that weeds that shit out?
If that's the case, then go to the fucking hood.
No, hell no.
Because you can read a lot more shit when you're in the fucking hood than you can when you up in your suburban type facilities.
You're right.
Like shit not
we talking
going
about
on.
that
All you got to do is go. Because see, in the hood, you faced with shit that will make you look on a higher scale. On low income, I'm not even gonna say hood, because you're out here like when a dog eat dog world, and that's what we're in right now. But you go to the suburban upper life, you don't want to hear about George Floyd or anybody else that's black getting their ass handed to them. Go in your house, close the door, turn off your TV. See, when you in the low income society, all you hear over and over again, gunshots, people yelling, people police, you hear dogs, you hear people running through the alley.
You hear that shit so much it becomes like fireworks.
Right,
you just don't give a damn.
Can't numb to it.
On top of each other. In other words, we're forced to hear that because we're literally on top of each other. We can hear the arguing, we can hear the neighbors arguing because somebody was fucking somebody else's man up the street and got pregnant. You know, something like some shit. You can
God
hear that
damn,
shit
whoa,
because
what the?
but
Bro,
I'm
it
saying
happens,
like
man.
Yo,
But you know,
I
but
know
you
she,
know.
no, I know she's real, but it's just like
but I'm saying
BB going in right now.
but I'm like saying, like, think about it though, because you're forced to hear that. Once you become a politician or you hold any kind of like monumental office, like even a mayor of a city, you move into another area. So you tend to, after you've been there for a while, you tend to forget what the people that you're overseeing is really going through. So you tend to
And
forget
that's
Mhm.
and you tend to forget what they need, even though, yeah, you grew up in the struggle, but see, you forgot because now you got a silver spoon in your mouth. You forgot.
and that's
Yeah.
and that's why term limits are so important because you will eventually forget if you're
Exactly.
not constantly always reminded, bro. I mean, even at the position I am in now, I would sometimes get out there when I make my guys do work. I get out there with them to remind myself that I am still part of that team. I also get out there with, I mean, to also show them that this isn't going to be me just always telling you what to do and then going back to my office sitting on my ass.
Right.
Quite frankly, I don't like sitting in an office that, or I don't know how my supervisors do it, but it gets a little bit boring. That makes them days be long as hell.
Hell yeah.
But the thing about it though is you have to have reminders and keep yourself moving to show people that you are still a part of basically the society. But that's kind of what bothers me about, to say the least, that's what bothers me about today's politics is I feel like they forgot.
Yeah.
Like they
The only
I'm,
thing that
I'm gonna
pisses
say,
me
hold
off.
on, hold on. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. And the reason why me and Jay say military is 8 years or something like that is because people only know the area where they live at, and they tend to stay there. Like some of my classmates have never left South Carolina. They
Yep.
have never left Charleston, and they still
Yep.
here. Now, meanwhile, people who did left, they became more worldly. They became to be aware of more culture and accepting of more cultures and being more open. You know what I'm saying? Their minds are
You
open to new ideas and, oh, this government over here, how their culture works over here is really great. Like, well, how me and Jay were talking about Sweden and how all these different countries have great plans for their people and how they take care of their people. You know, not
exactly.
the people just taking care of the government, it's the government and the people taking care of each other. So we were talking about that. I believe if you traveled and you see things and you experience these things, you tend to understand how the world works instead of where your state works and where your neighborhood
you
works.
also
Okay, I can agree with that.
you also become more humble.
Yeah.
Like the thing about it is you also realize, like, I'm not gonna lie, a lot and people, and again, you might gonna get mad at, we have different opinions. Look, man, if y'all don't know anything about me, real talk, I'm in the military. I've been to 24 different countries. I have been around the world. I have seen different things. And as much as some of y'all may dislike America, and I understand your disdain for some of the things that we still need to fix, and I agree we need to fix it, I'm going to say this, and you can take it any way else. Y'all don't realize how lucky you have it.
Exactly.
Let's listen, and I'm going to give you some numbers to say. The thing about it this way is that you have a 15% chance of being born in a developed country. Congratulations, you're part of that 15%. The whole world itself, if you was to take the average income of everybody in the world, the average income of the entire world is USD is only $9,973. The average median income of the lowest and poorest state in this country is still $31,000, if not $21,000. You still make 3 times as much as the rest of the world does. And I'm serious about that. And I'm not saying that is a good thing. I'm not saying that we should ignore poor people. We need to help them. We need to do things better to assist them. But it can be worse. And that's not me saying that to dismiss anything. It's just my grandma always told me sometimes you don't know you're blessed and you need to see that.
Right.
And I
True.
believe being in the military will wake people up to see this so that when we want to fix the country, you're not fixing it out of hatred and anger, because that's a lot of what I see. You're fixing it because you truly seen systems that work, systems that fail, and you want to put together the systems that work to be better.
I'm
Right.
gonna be the devil's advocate here because I don't believe necessarily you have to be in the military for that. You can join Habitats for Humanity and travel the world. You can
You
become. You
can.
could
You
do
become a
transfer. You could do a transfer
Yeah.
student if you make it to college, or even if you're in a technical college, you
But
could do a
let's be
transfer
real.
student.
But let's be real.
But
Who all going to do that? How many people do that on
but I'm
on the
saying
yearly basis?
this is what I'm trying to say overall is
Mhm.
that if you're in the military but you have a fucked up personality overall, you could just be looking at the power that you'll
and
be
that shit should
getting
and that shit should reflect
versus
because
now I get if you're saying Jay, if you're saying, hey, I'm gonna run for office because this, that, and the third, okay, I can get behind that. But to get behind just anybody who say, hey, I was in the military for such and such years, I don't give a fuck if you was in the military for 35 years. What's your fucking personality? What's your background? How were you
Exactly.
when you were a supervisor? How were you when you had to mentor other cadets coming up? How were you when you did that? Was you a good training officer?
I get that.
Could you it doesn't matter.
I get that because we do have assholes in the military still.
we're not gonna talk about Fort. We're not gonna talk about Fort Hood, which is literally nicknamed the Hood.
Look.
I mean, because we got
We know
people
what it
who
is.
get out the military who are either forced out or they just got out and they get into law enforcement, and those are some of
And
those
they
same motherfuckers that you always see on the news that don't know how to talk to people.
Right.
There's motherfuckers who like you, and you got those. You got motherfuckers who really just couldn't cut it in the military.
They get
and they
weeded
get
out.
out
Right.
and they sell these stories like how they was heroes and how they was like honestly and truly. And I hate to say it, this is why when you get out the military, they write you a final fucking eval. Employers need to learn to start looking at those goddamn things.
I swear.
Please do.
You know
Please
Americans
do.
don't like to
Even
read.
if they get a fucking honorable discharge. Please do.
You need to read their goddamn yearly evaluations. Like, okay, well, all right, whoa, okay, so you have attitude issues, it seems. Stuff like that is stuff you should pay attention to. You're right, because I'm not saying we're perfect. I'm not saying that we are better. The ideas of what we represent are perfect. That's just ideas. Ideas are always going to be perfect in that sense.
Right.
What we're supposed to represent is the perfection of it all. But who we are as people is completely different. And I say that to be 100%. So like the Constitution, what I say I love about the military is we are loyal to the Constitution above anything else. We are loyal to an idea, not a man, not a king, not a political party. We are loyal to an idea. God damn it, I hate these damn things. So and that's the main part of it. That idea is perfect, but you have your shitbags. You have your shitbags. And that's just part of life. And we have to learn to deal with them and weed them out. The military is pretty good at weeding them out. But the other thing I have to say is what Joe Biden said is what I don't like. What I didn't like that he said
Right.
is when he said the military has to work on its diversity issues. Don't get me wrong.
Like what?
There are some issues. The military has to work on its diversity issues. Don't get me wrong. There are some diversity issues, and there are diversity issues everywhere. The military, in my opinion,
Not that
we
much.
excel. We excel at that shit. You're not gonna tell us we have to work on that because,
No.
man, you learn, bro. Can I say how many? The insensitivity that we have on just shit. We don't give a fuck,
Bruh.
And that's the problem. It's like, bro, I'm
We
not
are
gonna lie. There's
X-rated with
more
this shit.
cases. Fuck yeah. There are more cases of people turning something into a race issue in the military with false claims than there are actually sometimes being race issues. It's because sometimes, and I hate to say it, sometimes people are shitbags. And I've seen, and I'm not saying this, and before anybody gets the idea, was like, oh, he's talking, nah, bro, this a lot of people have done this. I've seen blacks do it, whites do it, Asians do it, I've seen Mexicans do it. Motherfuckers, when they do dumb shit, they try to find way out. They're trying to find a way out of it. Dude got a DUI, was driving on base. He tried to make it a race issue. No, motherfucker, you was drunk driving on base. You know you was wrong. You know you was wrong. Which has
Like
nothing
Jay,
to do
and then you see
with
how,
your race.
Did you see how we apply it, right? Like some of these things where they talk about police killings and stuff like that, and they try to make it everything like racism, or like okay, and then we look at the videos, and I be looking like, okay, this motherfucker was being aggressive.
Yo, okay, 100%. Like I mean, what happened to George Floyd was goddamn horrible.
That was horrible.
But not every Not every person is George Floyd, my man.
No, not everybody.
Some of these motherfuckers.
Right.
There was a situation in Lancaster where they was trying to protest, and the dude pulled out and they dropped the video, and you can see in the video the dude came out the building with a gun, just charging at the officer.
Right.
And I'm just sitting there looking like, nah, blood, that's all you. That's
Yeah, shoot that motherfucker dead.
because I put it like this. If I would shoot you, I probably am not going to get mad at the officer shot your ass either.
Right.
And I'm just sorry. And I had to tell a friend that I was like, look, man, we have to face the reality of some of the issues we have in our community.
Thanks.
Police brutality is a real thing that we have to face. Racism is a real thing that we have to face. But as I said in our last episode conversation, colorism is also a real thing that we have to face and stop ignoring.
Amongst ourselves.
We have so much anger and hatred amongst ourselves. If we don't stop that, ain't nothing else we do is going to even be recognized. Let alone looked at and taken seriously.
Right.
There's a lot of things.
And the thing about it though is we can't just always kind of like every time. And one of the things that irritates me is every time we try to bring up the conversation and talk seriously about it, we always get the that's not the conversation right now. You need to that's not what we're talking about. That's what we need to talk about. Doing these protests, like, we have to acknowledge the good and the bad. If you can't acknowledge the bad, you lose the high ground.
Bruh, and
doing these protests this summer. Oh, go ahead. My bad.
Oh no, I just want to say this. Every time we talk to somebody outside of a race, if they have an objection to what we're saying, that does not make them a Trump supporter. It does not make them a racist. Okay? If they're making a counter argument, giving you another perspective, that does not make them racist, okay?
But see how look, I want to say this. See how like that excuse has been weaponized. And I'm going to say that. See how that excuse has been weaponized, because we have used that shit so much that they have now learned, politicians and corporations have now learned, if they want to get people on their side, all they got to do is call the other side a Trump supporter, no matter if it's true or not. That's all they got to do.
Throwing it in, and people gonna flock to it. Like for one example, right? I had somebody come to my job with a fake damn max exemption card shit.
Jesus.
Yeah. Shit is fake, but they found it on the internet and they think it was legit because it agrees with what they believed in. Because this is what they wanted to hear. You wanted to hear that, so you took that without even fact checking it. And that's what a lot of people do.
That sounds right. that sounds right. But like, I mean, like, you know, what you talked on was pretty much it. Because like, let's look at what we're talking about right now. We're talking about like Wall Street bets. Everybody knows what's going on with Wall Street bets right now in the stock market. But look at the smear campaign they're trying to run against these guys. So their smear campaign now is to call these guys white supremacists and Trump supporters. Because why? That's the only way they could try to demonetize and cause the movement to lose momentum, is by making people think that these guys are Trump supporters.
Get the fuck out of here.
And people will believe it. Some people will believe it. Some people will look at that shit and be like,
oh. I hope some black people smarter than that. They don't want us to know the tricks and the trades of the stock markets. They don't want us to become rich. They don't want the poor to get to know. Anybody want to know about what he just said? You just hit him in the DMs.
Yeah, look at cryptocurrency, man. Like, cryptocurrency, dude. Look how quick the government was to fucking regulate that shit. Because they couldn't tax it at first. They had no way to control it. But as soon as they regulated it, as soon as they taxed it, look how quickly that shit just started to drop off and disappear. And then now it's starting to come back up. They don't want people making money. They don't want poor people coming up.
No.
Using their own tricks. Because like I said, hedge funds and big corporations have been doing this shit for years. And all of a sudden, a bunch of nobodies get a hang of it and start doing it themselves. And now it's fucking illegal. Now there's an issue. Nah, dog. It has nothing to do with that. And people need to realize that but look what I said. Look how quickly they was like, oh, well, Wall Street bets are Trump supporters and white supremacists. That's how they doing. And that should show you they're going to use that. They're going to use that to get inside and fucking destroy the movement.
I hate people.
Yes.
No, I mean, because like overall, like people are just dumb. Like we have Google, and I voice this like very much so. We have Google. We still got Bing. We still got Ask G. We got all these little fucking search engines that we can use. and nobody wants to utilize those engines to look for something that's really going to help us prosper, not just as a culture, but as an individual, period. But y'all can look up when Waffle House closed, when the strip club closed, how much money it costs to get to this concert. You can Google all that other shit, but the shit that really matters, you can't Google it. You don't want to Google it. So it's like, after a while, for me personally, I can't even be mad at the powers that be too much, because they've given us the opportunity to have the power in our own hands, and very little people are really using it. And the moment that I actually start the stock market, for example, people were starting to really use that, and they, like you said, Jay, are now turning away from that and going back to their old habits because government invest your own money. Okay, we invest our own money. Wait, no, y'all make too much money. Let's shut this down.
No,
Oh, people are noticing that we're shutting
they
this
add
down.
another rule to it so it can give you a handicap.
Right, it's just like, when they finally desegregated us and everything. Oh, okay, well, let's desegregate them and put them in their own schools so they can read and write. All right, they've learned how to read and write.
Can we talk about that though real quick? Can we talk about that? So I'm sorry, and maybe people can get mad at me for this. I don't understand the definitions of wanting a safe space. We did all our ancestors went through all that shit, man. The fucking fight for desegregation for us to just want to segregate ourselves back.
Bruh, I was trying to understand
Personally,
that.
I
I was like,
think
who did this?
desegregation was the worst thing that happened to us as a culture. Seriously.
You say that as you saying that as like what Martin said, one of his last things he said.
What did he say? I didn't hear it.
He said that one of the last things he said is a video of him saying basically he feels like he's segregated his people into a burning building.
Yeah, yeah. Cause see, we stopped feeling like, and I hate to admit this, but we started feeling more entitled than let's go out
Oh,
and get
Gerell
this
was
money.
actually
Like,
Gerell was actually talking about that. Yeah, he was like
Bruh.
he's like
She hit it on the head, boy. She brought it right to me. Go ahead, BB.
brought it right back to the go BB, go girl.
I mean, but see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I get what our ancestors wanted us. They wanted us to have the equality of everybody else in this country. They did want us to have that. And I appreciate them full-fledged for wanting us to have that, because I would not be where I am today if I didn't have it. I would have been hung somewhere. Or I would have been so motherfucking timid that I would have been too scared to read and to want to write. I wouldn't know how to do anything except fuck, have babies, and pick cotton. So I am grateful for them for doing that. But in the midst of them doing that, people have started to forget why we were fighting for that to begin with. And people started feeling more entitled versus I gotta go out here and get what's mine. And that's what I'm saying. That's what they did with these jobs when they started desegregating us and trying to pretend like we're equal, but they're still better than us. It became more like, okay, we're gonna allow you to get this job at this plant job, and we're going to allow you to possibly make as much money as we do, but you have to have a high school diploma. Back then, our culture wasn't graduating past middle school because they didn't have a high school for colored people back then. So we stopped at middle school. Our middle school was that. You would have to fight or go to upstate to sit up here and look for a high school that would accept a black or colored person. Once we got, okay, everybody got high school diplomas, bet. Oh, now you can't get this job unless you have an associate's degree. Okay, bet. Everybody's getting an associate's degree. Oh, you can't have this job unless you have a bachelor's. Bet. Everybody's getting bachelor's. Oh, since everybody's getting bachelors, let's throw Sally Mae up in this bitch. We're gonna fuck up their goddamn credit. So when they do get this bachelor's degree, they have to end up, when they graduate, if they graduate, they're gonna owe us so much money that they can't even afford to go out and start a business in a trade that they love. They have to come and work for us because their credit is so fucked up. So the loan companies won't give any money. Oh shit, black people learn about credit? Here come Credit Karma. Oh shit, they learn about credit? Oh man, they know about Equifax? They know about all the 3 different credits. Oh shit, hold up now. let's make sure that people know that they can't get this job unless they have a master's degree. So black people have did one better and caught on and said, "Fuck the master's degree, let's go get a doctor's degree, or let's go get a bachelor's plus a trade." Now what? Oh, okay. Wait a second, they doing too much. Again, every time we surpass one level, they give us another level that we need to surpass. And all I'm saying is this: because we were desegregated, people forgot that all they forgot the hardship. And the truth be told, and it is what it is at the end of the day. But people show who they really are when the odds are stacked up against them. When the odds are continuously stacked up against you and you're constantly hearing the word no, it makes you hungry. It makes you want it.
Right.
But when you're all of a sudden, oh, if you have babies, we'll throw you on WIC. You can get food stamps. Oh, if you're not married and this man ain't living with you, we could throw you on living assistance. And it's just not for black people, just for all races, because there's a lot more whites and Hispanics doing this bullshit than it is us. And we'll throw you on child support. So even though we're telling you no, you shouldn't do this, we're going to give you a crutch to lean on that keeps you from trying to better yourself. All I'm saying is people get on my motherfucking nerve because our ancestors in the past would trade anything to be in our shoes right now. And they would have, as much as racism is embedded in this country, and it's not going anywhere. Like that's just the bottom line. This country was not founded but stolen off of racism and rape. So that's not going nowhere. So, but our ancestors who were back in the 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s, not even that long ago, would give anything to trade places with us because they would be taking this shit and turning these white people on their head or turning anybody on their heads because it's some of us black people that get in these high standing offices and forget about the rest of their culture because they're being taught that you can't serve them and us. You can only serve us if you want to be here.
Right.
Okay, so I want to add on. I want to add on to this as well before because we're cutting into our time.
Sorry.
But and we're gonna have to continue. Well, no, it's fine. We're gonna continue this in the next episode. So, and I'm sorry, guys, it's gonna hit you with that to be continued shit, but it's gonna be what it is. JoJo Bizarre Adventures. But
Find out
Second
in the
nigga
next
dick up.
episode.
the one
Blerd
thing,
Talk.
Second nigga dick up.
but the one thing you forgot to add, BB, in the situation was vocational schools.
Yes.
So what
Get your
they
trade,
did not
man.
tell you, do not, because I put it to you like this. I didn't get my degree until later on. I started out, like I said, everybody knows my career path, but I started out with mostly experience and certifications. My certifications will get me through a door for a job faster than a degree will. And I don't owe no college debt whatsoever. They don't tell you about that shit though. They don't tell you about that shit though. They put you into, like you said, they put you in a system that makes you go into debt, and you don't say, and they don't say anything to you at all about it. They just leave you hanging. All right, so but that's going to be this version of Blerd Talk. We're going to have to hit you guys up with another continue on version. So let us know. Hey, this is OWC Wolverine signing off.
Oh, dirty bastards.
Better solve my problem.
I'm
Just go
hungry.
ahead and rob 'em.